Everyone talks about fasting like it's a miracle, a reset button, a simple way to reduce inflammation and heal the body. But here's the uncomfortable truth that almost no one tells you. Done the wrong way, fasting can quietly increase inflammation instead of reducing it. And the worst part is, it doesn't feel wrong at first. It feels disciplined. It feels healthy. It feels like progress. That's exactly why so many people fall into this trap without even realizing it. They skip meals, stretch their fasting windows longer and longer, rely on coffee to get through the day, and believe they are doing something powerful for their body. But underneath that surface, a very different story is unfolding. Your body is not just tracking calories, it is constantly reading signals. Signals about safety, signals about stress, signals about survival. And when those signals are off, everything changes. What looks like control on the outside can feel like danger on the inside. And when your body senses danger, it doesn't focus on healing, it shifts into protection mode. In that state, inflammation can rise, energy can drop, cravings can increase, and fat loss can slow down or even stop completely. This is where confusion begins. Because from your point of view, you are doing everything right. You are fasting, you are eating less, you are trying to be consistent, but your body is responding in a way that doesn't match your effort. This is why some people feel worse the longer they fast, not better. They notice brain fog, low energy, mood swings, poor sleep, stubborn belly fat that refuses to go away. And instead of questioning the strategy, they push harder, they extend the fast, they cut more food, they drink more caffeine. They blame themselves for not having enough discipline, but discipline is not the problem here. The problem is the signal you are sending to your body without even knowing it. In this video, you're going to learn something that most fasting advice completely ignores. You're going to understand why certain fasting patterns can actually increase internal stress and trigger inflammation, even if they look healthy on the surface. You'll see how your body interprets long fasting periods when they are not supported properly. You'll understand why skipping meals without the right structure can backfire. And most importantly, you'll learn what to do instead. A smarter, safer, and more effective way to use fasting without putting your body into a stress response. There are small adjustments that can completely change the outcome. Not extreme changes, not complicated rules, just simple shifts that align with how your body actually works. When those shifts are in place, something powerful happens. Energy becomes stable, cravings begin to fade, fat loss becomes easier, and inflammation starts to go down naturally without forcing your body into survival mode. That's the difference between working against your body and working with it. What makes this even more important is that many popular fasting routines today are built around intensity, not understanding. People are told to fast longer, push harder, and ignore the signals their body is sending. But your body is not designed to thrive under constant stress. It is designed to respond to balance. And once you understand how to create that balance, everything starts to change in a way that feels natural, not forced. Stay with me until the end of this video because what you're about to learn could completely change how you look at fasting. You'll see why doing less in the right way often gives you better results than doing more in the wrong way. You'll finally understand why your body has been resisting you and how to fix that without extreme diets or complicated routines. This is not about quitting fasting. It's about doing it in a way that actually supports your body instead of stressing it. Welcome to the channel where we break down simple health truths in a way that actually makes sense and works in real life. If you want to understand your body better, improve your health without confusion, and stop following advice that silently works against you, make sure to subscribe and stay connected. Right now, you're putting in effort every single day. You're skipping meals on purpose. You're watching the clock. You're trying to stay disciplined. You're trying to lose fat and feel better in your own body. You're telling yourself this is the right thing to do because everyone says fasting helps with inflammation and weight loss. So you follow it, you stay consistent, you push through hunger, you ignore the discomfort because you believe it will pay off. But instead of feeling better, something feels off. Your energy is low for no clear reason. You wake up tired even after a full night in bed. Your mind feels slow and heavy, like it takes more effort to think clearly. Simple tasks feel harder than they should. You notice that your mood shifts more often. Small things irritate you. You feel restless, but also tired at the same time. And then there's the frustration that keeps growing quietly in the background, the belly fat that doesn't seem to move no matter how hard you try, the scale that refuses to reflect your effort, the random cravings that show up out of nowhere, especially at the worst times. You try to control them, but they feel stronger than your willpower. So you start questioning yourself. You think maybe you're not trying hard enough. Maybe you need to fast longer. Maybe you need to eat even less. Maybe the problem is you, but here's the truth that changes everything. You're doing everything right, but your body isn't responding. And that's where the real problem begins, not because you lack discipline, but because something deeper is being misunderstood. It's not fasting that's the problem, it's how you're fasting. That single difference changes the entire outcome. Most people don't see this because fasting looks simple on the surface. Just don't eat for a certain period of time and your body will take care of the rest. But your body doesn't work on simple rules like that. It works on signals. Every action you take sends a message. And when those messages are unclear or extreme, your body doesn't interpret them as healing. It interprets them as stress. Many people are unknowingly putting their body under constant pressure without realizing it. Long fasting hours without proper support, skipping meals without balancing nutrients, relying on stimulants to push through hunger, all of this builds a silent stress response inside the body. You don't see it immediately, but it builds over time. And when your body senses that kind of stress, it reacts in a very specific way. It stops focusing on repair and starts focusing on protection. When your body feels unsafe, it doesn't heal, it protects. That protection mode changes everything happening inside you. Your body becomes more alert, more defensive, more focused on survival rather than progress. It starts conserving energy instead of using it freely. It starts holding on to fat instead of burning it. It becomes more sensitive to any form of pressure, whether it's from food, sleep, or daily life. This is why the same fasting strategy can work for one person and completely backfire for another. It's not just about the method, it's about how your body is interpreting that method. And if your body reads your fasting routine as stress instead of support, the results will always move in the wrong direction no matter how consistent you are. Now let's understand what's actually happening beneath the surface in the simplest way possible. Your body is always scanning your environment. It's asking one basic question again and again. Am I safe or am I under threat? When you go long periods without food, especially without proper preparation or balance, your body can start to see that as a warning sign. Not because fasting itself is bad, but because of how it's being done. When food disappears for too long without the right signals of safety, your body doesn't think you're trying to improve your health. It thinks resources are scarce. It thinks it needs to protect you. And that's when internal stress begins to rise. This stress is not always obvious. It doesn't always feel like panic or anxiety. Sometimes it feels like fatigue. Sometimes it feels like a lack of motivation. Sometimes it feels like constant hunger that doesn't go away. Inside your body, systems start adjusting to handle what it believes is a difficult situation. Energy usage is reduced, recovery slows down, fat storage becomes more likely because your body wants to keep reserves in case the situation continues. At the same time, small internal reactions begin to increase. Inflammation, which is meant to protect you in short bursts, can stay slightly elevated when stress signals remain constant. It doesn't always show up dramatically. It builds quietly, slowly affecting how you feel and how your body responds. When meals are skipped without proper nutrition later, the problem becomes even stronger. Your body is not just missing calories, it's missing signals of nourishment. It's missing the reassurance that everything is okay. And when that reassurance doesn't come, the stress signal stays active. Add to that long fasting windows without enough recovery, poor sleep, or too much caffeine used to push through hunger. And now the stress is not occasional, it becomes part of your daily pattern. And once that happens, your body adapts in a way that works against your goals. This is where the confusion becomes even deeper. Because from your side, it still looks like effort. You're still following the plan, you're still fasting, you're still trying to stay consistent, but your body is not responding to effort alone. It's responding to the overall message. And right now, that message might be telling your body to stay on guard instead of letting go. It might be telling your body to hold on to energy instead of using it. It might be telling your body that now is not the time to heal, but the time to survive. And this leads to one of the biggest mistakes people make when it comes to fasting. They go too far too fast. They jump into long fasting windows without building a foundation. They think longer means better. So they push from a normal eating pattern straight into extreme restriction. At first, it might feel manageable because motivation is high, but over time, the body starts pushing back. Energy drops, hunger signals become stronger, cravings become harder to control. Instead of adjusting the approach, many people double down. They extend the fast even more, thinking that's the solution. Another common pattern is relying only on coffee or stimulants during the fasting period. This creates a false sense of energy. It feels like you're functioning, but underneath that, your body is still under pressure. The natural signals of hunger and fatigue are being masked, not solved. Then comes the moment of breaking the fast. After long hours without food, the body is already in a sensitive state. And if that fast is broken with sugar, processed food, or low quality meals, the internal stress increases even more. Blood sugar spikes and crashes. Energy fluctuates. The body struggles to regain balance. Sleep is often ignored in this cycle. When fasting is combined with poor sleep, the stress signal becomes even stronger. The body doesn't get the recovery it needs. So instead of resetting, it carries that stress into the next day. And the cycle continues. Each day adds a little more pressure. Each day moves the body further away from balance. All of this leads to one simple but powerful truth. Fasting without strategy is just controlled stress. It looks healthy on the outside, but inside, it can create the exact conditions that block progress. This is why some people feel stuck even when they are doing what seems right. It's not about trying harder. It's about understanding what your body actually needs to feel safe enough to respond positively. When you begin to see fasting through this lens, everything starts to make more sense. The fatigue is no longer random. The cravings are no longer a mystery. The stubborn fat is no longer just bad luck. They are signals. They are responses to a pattern that your body is trying to manage. And once you understand that, you stop fighting your body and start listening to it. You stop forcing extreme routines and start building a system that works with your natural signals instead of against them. Everything starts to change the moment you stop looking at fasting as a way to simply eat less and start seeing it for what it really is, a signal you send to your body every single day. Your body is not counting hours the way you do. It is not impressed by how long you can go without food. It is not rewarding you for pushing harder or staying hungry longer. It is only reading the message behind your actions. That message can either say you are safe and supported, or it can say you are under pressure and need to protect yourself. This is the shift that most people never make. They stay focused on restriction, on cutting things out, on stretching the fasting window, thinking that more control will bring better results. But real progress begins when the focus moves away from restriction and towards support. When your body feels supported, it relaxes. When it relaxes, it allows change to happen. When it feels stressed, it resists. This is why two people can follow similar routines and get completely different results. One sends a signal of safety, the other sends a signal of stress, and the body responds accordingly. Fasting, when done the right way, is not about forcing your body into submission. It is about guiding it gently into a state where it feels safe enough to let go of what it no longer needs. That includes excess fat, constant cravings, unstable energy, and internal tension. But that only happens when the signals are clear and balanced. Safety always leads to healing. Stress always leads to protection, and once you understand this, your approach becomes smarter without becoming harder. You stop chasing extremes. You stop believing that longer is always better. You stop trying to prove discipline and start building trust with your own body. This is where a better approach begins, not with complicated rules, but with simple adjustments that send the right message from the very start. The first change is to shorten the fasting window. This may sound too simple, but it is one of the most powerful shifts you can make. Instead of jumping into long fasts that push your body into stress, you start with something more natural, something your body can easily accept. Around 12 to 14 hours is enough for most people to begin with. This includes your overnight fast, so it does not feel extreme or forced. It feels manageable, it feels calm, and that matters more than most people realize. Because when the fasting period feels calm, your body does not go into defense mode. It stays balanced, it stays open to change. As you follow this shorter fasting window, something interesting begins to happen. Your hunger signals become more predictable. Your energy does not crash as hard. You don't feel the same urgency to rely on stimulants just to get through the fast. Your body starts to trust the pattern. It learns that food is coming regularly. It stops preparing for scarcity, and that alone reduces internal stress in a way that longer fasting never could when done without support. This is not about doing less for the sake of comfort. It is about doing the right amount so your body can respond properly. The next step is what you do when you break your fast, because this moment carries a strong signal. After a period without food, your body is paying close attention to what comes next. If the first meal is unbalanced, full of sugar, or lacking proper nutrients, the message becomes confusing. Energy spikes quickly and then crashes. Hunger returns faster. Cravings increase. But when the first meal is built with intention, the message changes completely. Starting with protein gives your body a stable foundation. It supports your muscles, helps regulate hunger, and keeps energy steady. Adding healthy fats slows down the release of energy and prevents sudden spikes. It keeps you full for longer and helps your body stay calm. Avoiding a sugar-heavy start prevents the roller coaster that often follows. Instead of a quick high and a sharp drop, you get a smooth and steady flow of energy that lasts. This one change alone can transform how the rest of your day feels. Instead of chasing food, you feel in control. Instead of sudden cravings, you feel steady. Instead of fighting your body, you feel aligned with it. And over time, this consistency builds a stronger foundation than any extreme approach ever could, because your body begins to recognize the pattern as safe and reliable. At the same time, it is important to look at the hidden forms of stress that most people ignore. Fasting does not happen in isolation. Your body is also dealing with sleep, hydration, daily pressure, and mental load. If these areas are neglected, even a well-structured fasting routine can turn into a stress signal. Sleep is one of the strongest signals of safety your body can receive. When you sleep well, your body repairs itself, it resets. It balances internal systems that control hunger, energy, and recovery. Without enough sleep, everything becomes harder, hunger increases, cravings become stronger, energy becomes unstable. So protecting your sleep is not optional, it is essential. Hydration is another simple but powerful factor. When your body is dehydrated, it experiences additional stress. Signals become unclear, fatigue increases, hunger can even feel stronger when the real need is water. Staying hydrated supports every process in your body, especially during fasting periods. It helps maintain balance and reduces unnecessary pressure. Then there is caffeine, which many people rely on heavily during fasting. It can feel helpful in the moment, it can give you a temporary boost, but too much of it can push your body further into stress mode. It can increase internal tension and make it harder for your body to relax. This does not mean you have to remove it completely, but it does mean being mindful of how much you use and why you use it. If caffeine becomes a tool to ignore your body's signals, it stops being helpful and starts becoming part of the problem. As these adjustments come together, something deeper begins to shift. You stop treating your body like something you need to control, and you start treating it like something you need to support. And that changes your behavior in a natural way. You become more consistent, not because you are forcing yourself, but because the routine feels sustainable. You are no longer jumping between extremes. You are no longer starting strong and then burning out. You are building a pattern that your body can follow every single day without resistance. Consistency becomes your strongest advantage, not intensity, not extremes, just steady, reliable actions that your body learns to trust. Healing comes from consistency, not intensity. And this is where real progress begins to show. Not suddenly, but steadily, your energy starts to level out. You wake up feeling more refreshed. You go through your day without that heavy feeling dragging you down. Your mind feels clearer. You can focus without struggling. Tasks feel easier to complete. Your mood becomes more stable. Small things stop affecting you as much as before. Cravings begin to fade in a way that feels natural. You are not fighting them as hard because they are not as strong. Your body is no longer sending urgent signals for quick energy. It feels nourished, it feels stable, and that stability reduces the need for constant snacking or sudden food urges. At the same time, the resistance around stubborn belly fat begins to change. When your body no longer feels the need to protect itself, it becomes more willing to let go. Fat loss becomes smoother, not forced. It happens as a result of balance, not pressure. Digestion improves as well. When your eating pattern becomes more consistent and your meals are more balanced, your digestive system works more efficiently. There is less discomfort, less bloating, food feels easier to process, and that adds another layer of comfort to your daily routine. All of these changes are connected. They are not separate results. They come from the same shift in how your body feels. When your body feels safe, everything begins to align. Energy, hunger, fat storage, recovery, all of it starts working together instead of against each other. And that is the point where things finally feel different, not just physically, but mentally as well. Because you are no longer guessing, you are no longer confused. You understand what your body needs, and you are giving it exactly that. And in that state, something simple but powerful becomes clear. Your body finally starts working with you, not against you. Everything comes down to one simple truth. It's not about how long you can push your body, it's about how well you understand it. Because the goal was never to suffer through longer fasts or prove your discipline. The goal was always to feel better, to have stable energy, to reduce inflammation, and to finally see your body respond in a positive way. And now you can see clearly why that wasn't happening before. It wasn't a lack of effort. It wasn't a lack of willpower. It was the signal. It's not about fasting longer. It's about fasting smarter. The moment you shift from forcing your body to supporting it, everything starts to change. Your body is not working against you. It has always been trying to protect you based on the signals you were sending. And once those signals change, the response changes too. When you give your body the right message, when you show it that it's safe, supported, and nourished, something powerful begins to happen beneath the surface. When you give your body the right signal, inflammation goes down and healing begins naturally. No extremes. No confusion, just a clear, steady path that actually works with your body instead of against it. And that's where real results come from. Not from doing more, but from doing things the right way. If this helped you see fasting in a completely different light, take a second to like this video. It helps more people understand what's really going on inside their body. Subscribe to the channel for simple health truths that actually make sense and work in real life. And share this with someone who is trying hard but still feeling stuck with fasting. Sometimes one small shift in understanding can change everything.